Let's see what happens. Turn it on. Nothing. Ready? I just saved my family $300, $400 with 1 hour of my time here on my day off. It's coming up on summer in South Florida and my pool pump is not working. And I literally just got a call from my sister, said my niece wants to use our pool for her birthday party. And I got two things I got to get worked out super quick here. Number one, if you got a pool, you need to get that thing fixed before the water turns green and your costs grow exponentially. Number two, man, I just had this thing replaced a couple years ago, the motor, and now it's not spinning, and I spent like $450 on that. And I don't want to do that again, so I'm going to see. I've never worked on a pool pump motor before. Let's see if we can't figure this out, you and I together, save a couple bucks, keep my pool looking beautiful during the summer. All right, let's do this. All right, so we got a little project today. The pool pump, it's super hot and it's not actually pumping anything, just making a little low hum. But last night when I first discovered that it wasn't working, it wasn't making noise at all, but it was about 1,000 degrees. So today we're gonna see if we can't figure out what's going on with it, all right? Let's see what happens. Turn it on. Nothing. So I can't get any actual suction happening. Sorry about the filming there. Can't get any actual suction happening. What happens if we trick it? Does it start sucking? There's definitely something wrong. And we have to figure out what that is. So this tells me that the motor might, there's a couple things that could be going on here. There's something wrong with the actual pump, or the actual motor. Because we have a motor, and then we have the pump. This is the part that actually moves the water. This is the thing that moves the pump that moves the water. So either our motor is somehow broken. What I think is actually happening is our pump is clogged. And I'm not sure how to fix that. So I'm going to try to figure that out. I'd love to just let it, not work. Like just, hey, it's working and that's good enough. But you and I know that it's just going to stop working when I need it to work the most. So I'm going to take the risk here and taking it apart and see if I can't figure out what's going on. All right, let's figure it out. Now, when I take apart these couplings, I have a large pipe wrench. It's not quite big enough, but I try to get it wedged in there a little bit. When I don't pull out my pipe wrench, I will use a flathead screwdriver and a hammer and get on one of those little ridges and kind of knock it open and knock it closed. But this works for me. Figure out your own way, I suppose, whatever works. Now, pay attention to that bolt right there that's sticking out, because that's going to cause me a little bit of problem here in a minute. Well, I decided to not be a complete idiot, and I went ahead and looked at some tutorials on how to take the pump here apart. And it seems like what I got to do is, the real key here is these bolts didn't matter, the ones that connect the motor to this, until I get these bolts and it's separated. And it said you put a very small screwdriver right in here so that you about a 16th of an inch the way in, so you don't harm the seal there. So let's take a look if we can accomplish that. Now, I could have completely separated this. All right, let's get all the water out and put it on a test bench. What I really want to do is see if it will run without the pump on it, to see if the pump is somehow fouled, and that's keeping the engine from running. Now, some of you may be geniuses in saying that's not how it works, but I don't know that. I'm not a certified pump mechanic. Just trying to wiggle it apart here. Oh, I still got a bolt in over here. Hold on. All right, there we go. There's a little base there. Here's our impeller, which, look at that, there's sticks in it. And, all right, here's the moment of truth. I'm gonna hit the little power here and see if it does anything. That didn't sound so great, to be honest with you. I wonder if I could take this impeller off. Okay, I want you to see this. There's like a little debris coming out. And I think my impeller, actually, I know it was clogged a couple weeks ago. You know, in for a penny, in for a pound. I wish I had a new one of these right here, but hold on, let's see what we can do. All right, no idea if this is how you do this or not. Let's go down in there. Oh, there's a screw in there. I wonder. Oh gosh. Okay, we gotta look at this. Let me see if I can get you in here. Can you see? You see the debris sticking out there? Can you see it? Yeah. I don't know. That's got to be a problem, right? So let's see if we can't get this impeller off. I don't know. This is where I really should be using my Google Foo to figure this out, but all right. Let me give you a quick pro tip here. If you're going to take stuff apart, you're going to want some magnetic parts and tool trays, right? So here's that for the sockets I was using, and I'm going to put all those screws in this little deal here. If you've ever lost these kind of things in these projects, you know what I'm talking about. Link in the bio. Like, just, you got to buy some. All right, let's try this again. All right, is that enough to slow it down? I don't know. I don't know about that. Well, only one way to find out, right? About a year ago, I paid somebody. It had gone bad. It was dead, and I paid somebody. I needed a new motor. Local guy who kind of specialized in that. I thought I was getting a new Hayward motor, and his prices seemed better than anything I saw online. When I got the pump and motor returned to me, it wasn't a Hayward. It was a Century, and I said, well, if this guy can put a Century on, I can put a Century on. And so I'm taking this apart. Worst comes to worst, I got to buy a new Century motor. Something already needs to be done, so I'm taking it apart, and if I can fix it with an hour of my time, I'm going to do that. And if this doesn't fix it, I've lost nothing but an hour of my day off, and we got a little something we have to do. Okay, pro tip number 2: if you take things apart with a screw gun, don't put them back together with a screw gun. Use a screwdriver, because this plastic, you'll strip it out so quick, and that will just be a bad time. And now, you don't got all my stuff in these magnetic trays. Check to make sure it was still working, still fired up with no problem. And now we just put everything back together the opposite of how we took it apart. Look, slides right together, no problems. Pinched my finger, and then we just put in our bolts and we tighten it up. Again, I took out the bolts that hold the motor to the pump, and I only needed to take apart the bolts that hold the pump together. We just needed to split the pump. We didn't need to remove the motor from the pump, but I didn't know that. I thought that maybe I was going to have to replace the pump. Actually, initially, that's what I thought. And the more I went in there, I said, let me check the impeller. And as it turns out, it was the impeller. So now I'm just using my driver here to put all the things back together, save myself a little bit of time. Now here's often, for me, the hardest part is getting these hoses, the pipes lined up and started. It is, for me, historically, it's been a real pain. So let's see how quickly I can get that done. Now you got to get this one lined up, and you got to get this one lined up. And for me, this one has been harder. And you want to check to make sure that your gaskets are in there, in the right spot. You got to line it up perfectly. We're going to keep it loose because I still got to get this one. Okay, listen, I know I need a new filter basket. That one's a little toe down, but you know, one thing at a time. It came right on. No pause, no nothing. What? Oh, I gotta try it again. Hold on. Ready? I just saved my family $300, $400 with 1 hour of my time here on my day off. Hey, listen, you can fix these things. We can, like, come on, man. We can do this. We can do this. I cannot tell you how excited I am right now about this. I'm gonna clean this up, put away my tools. Hey, if you got any questions, leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to help anybody out. I'm not an expert, but I promise you I will never pay anybody to do this again.